Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Okay, my business partner said never to say good evening again, but good day, everyone, anywhere you are in the world. I hope you all had an amazing week, and I hope your weekend is beginning to unravel into an enjoyable one. So, today, I wanted to do something a little different. You could type in the chat box or in the comment below something significant that you did or something that you did that you were absolutely proud of. I'll have to think a little deeper for mine to come up, but I'm pretty sure you did something amazing. So pause right now, take a deep breath, and think back what amazing thing that you did. Oh, yes, I have one actually. Okay, so of course, you know that when I'm going on my face, on the face of my phone like this, I'm trying to bring in my BFF, my business partner, because we have these discussions together. Hoping she's joining soon. So yes, I was saying, what significant thing did you do? This isn't working. Okay, she's watching, of course, but she has joined. Yay!
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Amazing, amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
so I posed a challenge quickly before you join in. I was asking our audience to put in the comment what significant thing they did this week, right? Because
Ooh.
I'm sure we all are capable of significant things, whatever significant is for you, right? So what significant thing? I'm going to pose it to you. Kedio, what significant thing did you do this week?
Okay, before we go into that, I'm just gonna call this out quickly. I got a tissue paper in my hand. You've got one. It's the flu season.
It
We're already headed into
is.
the flu season in Canada, and oh my God, it sucks. I don't want to be a crybaby this morning or a whining baby,
Mm.
but man, where is summer all over again? I want summer back, like ASAP. Anyway, I
Yeah.
digress.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So this week, I did something significant. I talked to a
Mhm.
stranger, like a complete stranger. Yeah, I struck. Yeah,
Didn't your mama never tell
to,
you never to
never to
talk
talk to
to
strangers. I'm waiting for that
strangers?
stranger that will drag me off. Yes, I did. I struck a
Ah,
conversation. Struck.
struck.
There's a past tense for strike. Yeah,
Hmm.
struck a conversation. Thank you. It's English class. I struck a conversation with a complete stranger, and that was something that was
Hmm.
significant for me as far as I'm concerned. I'm not usually known to be out there, but
Hmm.
that okay. So that is my definition of significance. What
And
is
how did
yours?
how did how did it go? Ola, you got to tell us the entire story.
It's
How did it
a
go?
story for another day. It's going to take the entire day for me to talk through that experience. So let's not go. Let's save our audience the pain of that story for now. We'll bring it up another day. You
Okay.
tell me in
Oh
one
well,
sentence or
actually,
two sentences. What
uh,
significant thing did you do?
I helped the bride fit her gown.
Oh, I love weddings. I absolutely
Oh,
love
I
weddings.
know, I know.
Oh,
It was so cool.
oh,
I
that's
mean,
amazing.
I mean, we do a lot of amazing things, significant things every day in our life. Even waking up is significant. Hallelujah to Jesus. You're awake, right?
Yes,
Going through the
yes,
motions, taking care of your family, all of those things are important because we are raising productive citizens in the society. As moms, as dads, that is beyond amazing. You're
right.
taking care of yourself. You are raising yourself as a productive citizen
Mm,
in the society, contributing member of the society. That is amazing.
yes.
But when you go above and beyond, like, oh my God, it was just beautiful to see the happiness, the excitement in her face, in her voice, and to be there, to be a partaker of that.
Mhm. That's
It was really
amazing.
huge for me, and she was super happy because I can't imagine going to fit your gown by yourself.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so
You need that company. You need that second opinion. You need
and
that
yeah,
camaraderie.
you
Right.
need somebody screaming and whining and oohing and eyeing with you as you're wearing it. It was a
Yes,
beautiful
yes.
moment.
Oh,
It was a
that's so
beautiful
beautiful.
moment. Hmm. Yeah, so
Awesome.
that's it.
Okay, back to business analysis simplified. So, in each episode, we try to draw parallels between a business analyst technique, idea, concept, and everyday
Mm-hmm.
living. We
Yep.
figure that if these techniques are working for organizations and they're thriving with it,
Mm-hmm.
how about we apply them to our personal lives and see the remarkable results and thrive thereby? So, today's
Mm-hmm.
topic is called functional decomposition. I know it's a weird topic, but we're going to talk about it still.
Yep.
Functional
Yep.
decomposition. I mean, when you hear the word decomposition, you just think of maybe something that is rotten, or so. Yeah, where you have all those. We don't want to be that person on camera, because it's sounding gross. The thought of it alone is gross.
Yeah.
So there's an adage that's coming to my mind, and I don't know why I keep talking about adages recently. Or maybe wisdom
You're
is
getting
finally
old.
just.
You're getting old, my
Come on,
friend.
I don't want you to use that word ever. We're getting younger. Let's put it that way. We're
We're
getting younger,
aging like
and
fine
wisdom,
wine.
the light of wisdom is beginning to glow on us, right? So
Right?
an adage that comes to my mind when I think of functional decomposition is know the parts to understand the whole,
Mm.
right? Understanding individual components of a system, of a process, now in the context of an organization, is crucial for comprehending the system as a whole.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is you could do that anytime. So, for instance, if a business analyst is just joining a company, and they want to understand all the processes within that organization. This is all the
Mm-hmm.
functions within the organization, right?
Yeah.
They could take one, break it apart to understand it, right? So breaking things apart, either for the purpose of understanding,
Mm-hmm.
breaking it apart, either for the purpose of identifying improvement opportunities, it
Yep.
is needed, right? It ties literally back to the word analysis. When you analyze something, you're breaking it down to understand it, and then you synthesize it to bring it together, then to present whatever it is that you found or your
Mm-hmm.
recommendation. So decomposition is breaking something down, something complex, into smaller parts, into manageable pieces, right? So that you could have a good grasp of it. I think it's coming to me again. Another thing that's coming to me is how do you eat an elephant? Bit.
That's just what I was thinking
You,
about.
you were thinking about that. Great minds. I like that. And
And that's why I was giggling. I'm thinking, no, I don't think I should say this. All is going to be, Katie, are you hungry? Is this what you're talking? And you literally said exact same thing. Oh my God, this is amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, how do you eat an elephant? I want to eat something right now.
right. You eat it in bits and pieces. You eat it in one muscle at a time,
Yeah.
manageable pieces, until you eventually conquer that
Mm-hmm.
elephant, right?
Yeah.
So that's functional decomposition. That's how organizations use it, or a business analyst could use it. Organizations could use it in looking at the different departments within the company to see the areas of improvement, or to see what is working and improve, and do more of that, or see what isn't working and then look to
Mm.
change things. That idea of continuous improvement
Oh yeah.
it ties back to decomposing something,
Yeah.
to understand it, and then to improve on it. So that's how
Absolutely.
organizations use it
Mm.
without going too much into details. Now, how can we as individuals use it in our daily living? Katie, up to you.
Eating the elephant eating the. Okay, stop fapping around. So, like you said, know the parts to understand the whole.
Mm,
And I think that's really, really key in our everyday life. You've got to know the parts to understand the whole. You're dealing with people, you're dealing with family members, you're dealing with your life. You've got to know the parts. When you know the individual part, it helps you to have a more holistic appreciation and understanding of the entire system. There's nothing we're going to do in life if we start out. I know we like to have a global view of things, but sometimes having a global view can be paralyzing. It can be really paralyzing when you look and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But when you break it down into simpler steps, then you can breathe. you can take it in, you can take it on, you can take it up one step after the other, right? And take,
100%.
for instance, I know a lot of times we talk about relationships here because, I mean, life is about relationships,
Oh,
even
yeah.
in and of itself, right? How you relate first with yourself, relate
Mm-hmm.
with your immediate family members, and then relate with the world as a global space. It's all about relationship. And if you're not cognizant, if you're not paying attention to your relationships, more or less, your life is just gonna be hit and miss.
Mm.
It's gonna be hit and miss. Let's say, for instance, you meet a young lady, and then any little thing, there seems to be a lot of aggression going there. You say one, she says two, three, four, five. Or you meet a guy, you say A, he says B, C, D, E, and you're like, okay, where's this coming from? You don't get it. Or for instance, something I just discovered lately. You promise somebody that, oh, I'm going to see you at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. comes around, you send a quick message that, you know what, I'm delayed like 20 minutes. Okay, he says okay, and then again something happens. This 20 minutes is going to extend to another 15 more minutes, meaning a total of 30 minutes. Or am I doing the maths right? 20
35.
plus 15.
I didn't want to obstruct your line of thought. I thought, okay, let's keep going.
So now
Yeah.
I'm running 35 minutes late, right? In my mind, I have explained, I have, put forward that, okay, this is what's going on. And you get to this person and they're all uptight and angry, and you're like, okay, what's going on? Right? What's going on? And if you're not careful, if you're not the kind of person that takes time to patiently understand the point of view of others, you're going to be like, what? I told you, what else do you want me to do? And then things begin to escalate, right? But
All right.
you take that, you understand, you talk about it, and then you begin to add other, bits and pieces of things together, and you begin to understand that this person is just really, 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 really to the power of 100 concerned about punctuality and not wasting their time. So
Mm.
if they had known that you were going to be 30, 35 minutes late, they would have invested that time in something else. So really the anger is not directed at you, it's just directed at the fact that they feel they are wasting their time. And when you
Mm.
can understand that, you can better appreciate that relationship that you have with that person. So you know ahead of time that, okay, if I'm going to meet up with this person, I'd better be preparing myself to get there on time, or tell them that, okay, how about we meet at 6 o'clock, so that way if I get there early they're happy to see me, but if I don't, then I get there on time. So it's all about relationships, how we perceive
Mm.
things, understanding chunks and chunks of things to be able to make sense of the global picture. And sometimes it also helps us with being vague or not being vague. For instance, if I said to Ola, my darling, I'm assuming now that you're my 15-year-old daughter, and I say, Ola, I need you to clean the house before I'm back.
I'll say,
Okay,
Mom, what's the definition of clean the house?
no. 15-year-old Ola will say, yes, mom. And then 15-year-old Ola will most likely sweep the floor and call it good. Look around and say, oh, I've done well. Mom comes back and like screaming and yelling, what's this? I told you to clean the house. Like, Mom, you said clean the house. So we want to break it into smaller components. Be like, Ola, you got to sweep the floor, clean the shelves, mop the kitchen, itemize things. So
Mm.
that way, your definition of cleaning makes sense to this person. And over time, that's one thing I really want to talk about here. Over time, that vague, complex system becomes more understandable, because every time mom says to Ola, clean the house, you already know in your heart, in your mind, because of previous experience, that she means sweep the floor, dust the tables, mop the kitchen. You know a list of 5 things that clean the house really means.
Yeah. I mean, I really like your interpretation of functional decomposition to task management or house chores, breaking it down into smaller pieces, because I know what I go through when I have to clean my house. It's very daunting. Like, it's a
Yeah.
huge, humongous task. And of course, I'm going to borrow that and say, okay, you know what? This humongous task, how about we break
Mm-hmm.
it down into smaller, manageable
Comfort.
pieces? How
Mm-hmm.
many rooms in the house? there are many sections of the house that needs to be cleaned. How about I clean the kitchen today and maybe focus on the washrooms the following day, and then maybe
Living
the
room.
lounge or the loft, and in bits and pieces like we eat elephant. By the end of the week, of course, you are so fagged out and you're thinking, oh God, I'm probably a slave right now, clean the entire house. But of course, you would have done it in bits and pieces, and all the aggression and all the frustration that is in you, you are letting it out day by day because yeah, conquering it one after the other. So
After the
task
other.
management is totally functional decomposition is like really applicable when it comes to task management. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
And
And then again, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to transition to the fact that I see that in play, coming to play, functional decomposition coming to play when it comes to shared responsibilities too. So
Mm,
between spouses, like you said, we're all made up of relationships, either as
yeah,
friends, platonic friends, or
yeah.
deeper friends, and then spouses, your marital
Mm-hmm.
relationship, your parental
Oh yeah.
relationship. So but having that shared responsibilities between the people that you have relationship with helps you a
Oh
lot,
yeah.
right? Each
Oh
part
yeah.
knows what their responsibilities are. Each partner knows the specific task
Mm-hmm.
that they need to do.
Yeah,
Like, and then each person knows when to come in to help the other person. Because what I
absolutely.
usually say is, at least to the young men in my life, each of them is living one after the other. If your older brother cannot do that particular responsibility because they are sick or because they have a lot of activities going on, could you at least step in
Step in.
and take on that responsibility just
Absolutely.
for the time being? And they just go,
Mm.
no, mom. It's never gonna happen. That's his job.
Oh my
But
God.
coming in at times when the other person isn't able to actually fulfill the responsibility too is key. Although you've broken it down into segments, into shared responsibility, and each person should at least know what to do. But coming in once in a while to alleviate them of that duty is key too.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. It is key. It is key. And then another thing we need to be careful about for organizations. We know we're talking about breaking complex systems into manageable components. But sometimes a little bit of that complex system is now begins to look like the definition of the entire system. What do I mean by that? For instance, let's take a company that does e-commerce. There's one that, of course, will jump into everybody's mind once we say e-commerce because it seems to be the giant and the champion of it all. There is a tendency they are made up of a whole variety of small,
right.
entities. But there's a tendency for when you think about it, what comes to mind is quick delivery.
Mm,
But they are bigger than that. They are more than that, right? You look at our phones, the different brands. There's some that when you think about what comes to mind is functionality. Some is extra accessories. Those are things that come to mind. There's one particular one that I have beef for, but they are renowned for almost being unhackable.
oh yeah, we know them.
We know that. So sometimes a part of you could define the entirety of you. For instance, you're a hardworking, career-focused young man who is very good at their job, but have problems with anger.
Mm,
If you're not careful, people are going to forget all the other good things that make up you as a person. They're going to, oh, he's an angry man. That's what they're going to remember you for. So we need to manage this little components that make us as people. We
mm.
need to manage it. Sometimes I've met women that when you ask them, oh, hello, how are you doing? Do you want to like sort of what they call introduce yourself? And you see them like stuck. So who do I say I am? Okay, my name is Kemidan Olabi. Many people call me KDO. So which comes first? Am I first? Oh, do I say I'm a mom? Oh no. A project manager? Oh no, I'm a coach. And then you're conflicted. because these are
Mm.
little bits of yourself. And the one that I find most painful is for stay-at-home moms. Just because you don't have a career title to your name. Come on, you are raising human beings.
Responsible young people in within the society. How is
Yeah.
it? I think we have a better, yeah.
I've seen this happen a lot. You ask them to, and they're just stuck because they don't know, okay, and this person is saying, oh, I'm the CEO of XYZ. Oh, all I saying, I'm the CEO of PM Base. Everybody is sounding very classy and, accomplished. And all of a sudden you're stuck. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm just a stay. No, you're not just a stay-at-home mom. You are a very, very important component of a society because you're raising responsible members of the society. I'm not,
Absolutely.
I know that we have other people like you and I, we combine that with some other things, but you who you are, and we should not allow a little bit of ourselves to define our entirety. So we need to be
Mm.
balanced. We need to check things out. Who am I? What am I doing? What do I want to be known for? What do I want to be remembered by?
Mm.
And when
Mm.
we look at it that way, we can begin to retrace our steps and begin to live every day. I know right now I'm going philosophical, but it's what it is. Anyway, we've done a lot of giggling at the beginning of the show, but we
Right.
really need to get serious. So you want to define your person, your life.
Mm.
Who are you? What do people, the Bible says, Jesus asked, what do people say? Who do people say I am? Oh, people said, so you ask them, who do you think I am?
Mm.
So there has to be that connection between what people see and what you believe about yourself.
Mm.
You've heard stories of a lot of people that we see and we think they are really accomplished, and the next thing you hear, they're committing suicide, and you're like, what? How? Because there's a disconnect between what people see and who you are.
Right. Right. Absolutely. I mean, I'm just thinking from your inference now that okay, so we are made up of tiny little components. Like we're not just one
One,
person. It's like we have different segments, different sections of our being that makes us a whole,
the whole.
a complete unit, right? So identifying those different segments and seeing how it eventually complements you as a person is key because
Mm-hmm.
as against having that identity crisis, if you're not able to just outrightly say, I'm a stay-home mom, I'm raising responsible members of the society, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
extremely proud of it,
Yep.
right? That is something to be proud of. And you're not just a stay-home mom alone. You still have other components of your life that make
Mm-hmm.
you that
That
person. So
person.
identifying all those smaller pieces, again, decomposing
Decomposing.
is not, yeah, is not sounding right in my it feels right in my mind, but when I'm saying it now it's not sounding. I was going to say decomposing parts of your life, but no, but breaking apart the things that eventually make you a
You.
whole person is
Yeah.
important, and
It's
understanding
important.
that is key to right in your identity. So never forget that. I mean,
Never,
just a
never.
quick one because it's been ringing in my mind and I thought, okay, just to drop it. When it comes
Mm-hmm.
to finances in the family, I know this is something that is usually a very touchy point. You could do your financial planning by decomposing things too, right? So identify categories of yeah, come up with
Yeah.
categories in your finances. What is your income? That's a category. What are your expenses? You could even
Mm-hmm.
break your expenses down to
Yeah.
recurring expenses,
Yeah.
right? How regularly do we make this transaction? How
Mm-hmm.
regularly do we? So those will be your bills. All the bills that you pay every month, those are your
Absolutely.
recurring expenses. And what are those ancillary expenses? Those
Mm-hmm.
are the things that not they don't happen every month, but you still need to keep track of it,
Track
right?
of them.
So
Absolutely.
segmenting, and then what is your savings? So
Mm-hmm.
having those decomposed part of your finances help you identify things too, right? If you see that your income is here and your expenses is here, the recurring The ancillary one is
Okay,
shooting it
stop
up.
going up. Stop going up, Ola. Now you're scaring me. If your
It is
income is
really
down,
like that, my dear. Then you need, that's a trigger, because that's where you activate the nerves in your brain to say, oh my God, my
Mhm.
income is here and my expense is there. Do I need to be doing more to raise my income here to this point? Or or do I need to bring my expenses down? So again, that helps you. That
Yeah.
helps you see things holistically, even though you've broken it down into different
Mhm.
segments. And then a major component, which is savings, you still need to have a reservoir. So income, expense, savings, you got to have
Okay,
those
I know,
segments.
I know, I'm being silly now, Ola. Somebody said, I can't remember where I read it from. It said, they say we should save for a rainy day, but it's raining every day.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah,
That's
it's raining every
funny.
day.
It's raining
So,
every day, guys. So I can't keep any money in my account. But Ola is right. You're right about that one. We need to be able to look at ourselves in the mirror and tell ourselves the gospel truth as it were. What am I making for money? What am I spending on? Sometimes there are some things you have no control over, but there are some things that we can actually control. And we'd better be controlling that, or else we're going to end up in trouble, or we're going to be living from paycheck to paycheck, from hand to mouth, they call it, right? We don't want that happening. So, functional decomposition, we need to be able to look at ourselves as a life as a whole and begin to segmentalize it
I
and
like
deal
that.
with it
Segmentalize. Ooh.
and deal with it, one step or one chamber at a time and see what you can do and how you can manage things.
Hmm.
The year is quickly, but surely running to an end. We've got just
Absolutely.
barely 2.5 months left for 2023 to roll over. And the question is, were you able to look at yourself holistically, your life holistically in January? I know we have goals, we have aspirations, we have dreams, but what did we do with that?
Mm.
12 minus 2.5, that leaves you barely 9.5. I mean, that's 9.5 that's already gone. So you've got just 2.5 months left. So what are you going to do with it? How are you going to be able to look at these 2.5 months and decompose it into
Break it
chunks?
apart. I like that.
And say, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this before the end of 2023. And that brings us back to the issue of PM base, how we help people transition into the IT world. Number of people have come up to us and said that, guys, I know that I missed the train. 10 weeks program, you guys have been screaming and talking about this since January, but the year is almost ended. Can I still do something? And it was
Absolutely.
absolutely. So if you're still thinking of transitioning into the IT world, we have good news for you. Because of the feedback we've had, we're thinking we're going to do a crash course on becoming a business analyst in 5 weeks. Guys, crash course means that it's going to be involving. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh yeah, just come to class and flicker
And
your
now
hair and
enjoy,
no. 2 days a week for 5 weeks. We can achieve that goal before the end of 2023. And it's going to be happening sometime in the middle of November. I think by next week we'll have a specific date for you. But don't change the dial. Keep that in mind and begin to plan towards it. 5 weeks, Saturday, Sunday, for 5 weeks. You
yeah,
can achieve your BA goals. You can become a business analyst. Yeah, back to you,
ab-
Ola.
absolutely. And this is in high demand. So you gotta be sure that this is what you want, because once we announce that date, it's gonna fill up pretty fast. So you have to be sure, you have to make up your mind. As we're talking right now, begin to decide and wrap
Mm-hmm.
your head around how this is gonna happen. Because when we announce it, things are gonna move pretty fast and you don't want to be left out.
Yeah,
So DM KDO, DM myself, and
absolutely.
let's make things happen before the end of the year. Katie, last word before we wrap.
Oh, well, I just wanted people to know that this crash course we're talking about, we have decided that it's not going to be a large class, because if we're crashing things, we want to be sure everybody follows, as we're going. So we're going to make it as small as possible so that we can have that touch point with everyone. But like Ola said, the classes are going to fill up pretty fast. Somebody, or you are somebody that wants to go into the IT world and you're thinking, can I still make it in 2023? The answer is yes. Get in touch with myself, get in touch with Ola. Let's make 2023 happen for you as far as your goals for, transitioning into IT is concerned. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I think we already said a lot and laughed a lot on today's show.
Yes, it
Always
is.
a pleasure hanging out with you, Ola, every day, every time, anytime,
Abs-
and anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. The feeling is mutual. It's always a delight. I say that time spent with KDO is time well spent every single time. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Time spent with you too, our audience.
Mm-hmm.
We can't leave you out.
Yeah,
Time spent with you
we can
is
see.
time
I can see
well spent.
people
Thank you.
watching with
Thank
us
you
and
to
hanging out with
everyone
us.
that
Yeah.
has joined us this morning. We really, truly appreciate, or afternoon, wherever you may be. We really, truly appreciate you because each time we try to simplify business analysis, make it as relatable as possible. So
Mm-hmm.
with functional decomposition that you've heard today, we encourage you to go and
Mm-hmm.
embrace the magic of intentional
Yep.
living. Be intentional about your lives because that's how you conquer. We'll see you next week. Until then, bye bye.
Bye.